A client recently came to me with a challenge. They wanted a beauty event that incorporated food and drink. They would be hosting influencers, there'd be a media presence, and they really wanted it to feel custom and fabricated, immersive. But unfortunately, they did not have a big budget.
So we started with the Altman Building, and as you can see, it reminded me of a gymnasium, to be honest. You can see the floor is wood. It's a big open space. They also have this really big space downstairs, which was great to see. It gave us a lot of options, and, we would be able to really sort of break up the space a bit and maybe not have quite as much fabrication needs as a result. This is the green room. So another great option for us. And then this, we were considering our team's war room. And then here's the kitchen, which is huge and very well taken care of. And then they also have this area for overall storage. Plus they have a lot of tables and chairs that we could use. So that was great. Then we went over to Cooper Classic. I really liked this garage door that we could open up. As you can see, they use it as a showroom for these classic cars. This was a bit of a no-go for us, especially because you really smell the gasoline in the space, and you just cannot serve food and beverage in a space like this unless the experience itself is for an automotive purpose, whether it's motorcycles or vehicles, what have you. But for any type of like beauty/food experience, it just was not going to work for us. But a cool space. And then across the street, they have another garage. Yet again, this space also really smells like gasoline, so it just was not going to work for us. Then this space, Lume Studios, this one was really super cool. They have lots of options, an upstairs and a downstairs. This is a view of the downstairs, and as you can see, they've got lots of screens that you can create a lot of different elements, and was really going to give us the ability to reduce the amount of fabrication needs that we would have, and we would just lean into the spaces, video screens and projection screens. So this is the video screens that they have downstairs, and you can see the gentleman is walking back and forth, and they have the ability to make it quite interactive, which would be super cool for the right client. And this is another example that he showed us of the screens working overtime for options for our clients. And then, as I mentioned, the upstairs space, which we walked into initially, which is quite different, but they've got like a nice kitchen, a huge table, so you could really do like a cool VIP experience. This client wanted to invite a bunch of influencers, so if we had VIP influencers, this would be a great experience for us to do a custom dining experience just for the VIPs. The kitchen itself is right here, nice and big, well taken care of, clean. And then, as I was mentioning, here is the projection mapping on all of the walls and the floor. Great options for us. So rather than doing these like custom fabrication build outs, we'd be able to take all of that and invest it into the projection on the walls, and that would help us break the space up. So this Lume Studios really is a great space to consider for something like this. This next space, this one was my favorite. As you walk in, this would be the check-in area. This is traditionally or normally it's this brand called Jessie, and Jessie is a very high-end bathroom fixtures, but they do clear it out and allow for people to rent the space out. It's 5 stories, and it's essentially a mansion with an indoor pool, which is also pretty fascinating. We were talking about potentially covering the pool and using it as a runway and a photo op experience. This wall is SEG fabric, and so we could do our own custom SEG fabric. They also have these shelves. The shelves cannot be removed, but so that would have been something that we'd need to figure out, like how to basically sort of leverage the shelves for what we were trying to do here. But it actually is like just a super cool, as you can see on the wall here is a really big screen. So that would be something that we'd be able to replace the Jesse video with something custom for our clients. This space, oh my gosh, look at how amazing it is. And yet again, it's another space where we could have our clients' videos on the screen. You just go from floor to floor. Each floor is just so fascinating. This is another great space, could be really cool for a VIP. Then they've got this bar is on the 5th floor, and another great option for food, beverage. And then they have this lovely little patio on the rooftop. I mean, just look at this. It's so cute. So cute. So yeah, we were super excited to see this space, and I am going to find a client that wants to do an event here, because 5-story custom experience in downtown Manhattan for the right brand activation would be just a stunner. Here you've got like this private area, this private space with a TV screen, so you could, this could be a war room, or it could be yet another VIP element. This is what we were thinking for this was, yet again, rather than doing custom fabrications, because we had 5 stories to play with, we would essentially use every story to replace the individual fabrications that we were planning on. This building used to be an electric facility, so it's got some really interesting elements to it. Skip the stars, trust the seal.